Hi, this is Wypiszynski, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the shell tool in Autodesk Inventor. So I've already started. I have created a part using File, New, Part, and we're going to be doing this in metric. So this will all be measured in millimeters and not inches. So to start, we're going to create a 30 millimeter by 30 millimeter square to the right of the y-axis, like such. We're going to create a second cube. Well, that's not exact. Hold on. Now it is. Create a second cube to the left of our y-axis, right there. And okay, I messed up again. Sorry about that. I will fix it. Yeah, if you hit enter and you have it in the wrong quadrant of your grid, it'll do that. Then we're going to create a third cube off to the right of our first cube. And we're going to make it 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters. Alright, so we have our 2D sketch. Now, in order to use the shell tool, you can't shell out an object that isn't there. So we need to extrude this. And we're going to make it 15 millimeters for each of these, 15 millimeters out, like such. There we go. So now we have our 3D objects, which is just the 3D version of the sketch that we just made. So in order to use the shell tool, obviously it helps to actually select it. So, as you can see here, under the Environments tab, midway through the tab of Tools, as we're going to call it, and directly to the right of the Fillet tool is the shell tool. We're going to click on this. So what we can do is we can change the thickness of the shell. Now you'll notice there's a little bit of a kind of a ghost outline inside of the object. If I change up the measurements of the shell, you'll notice it changes. See, for example, with the 1 millimeter, if I actually were to do it, it would only make a shell 1 millimeter into the object. But we're going to start with a 5 millimeter, so I can properly display this. And then we're going to shell at the front view. So as you can see there's a shell that's just been created, 5 millimeters in. I also noticed that since it's too thick of a shell, or too deep of a shell, it is not able. Okay, what is wrong with? Hold on.
Are you actually using the microphone?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Should we get done as soon as possible?
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Just went to the draw function. Okay. So we now have our shell. And what we can do now is if we change our thickness of the shell. See, right now we have a 5 millimeter. We can change it to a 1 millimeter. Another outline appears. Click right there. And we've now just created a little bit of a maze. Side note, it has also hollowed out this section. And that's just because of the thickness of our initial shell. But we're going to make it whole again, like such, so I can show the other aspects. So 1 millimeter shell is only. So you have now seen, so we've cut. Okay, I hate when this happens. We can create an exterior shell, which will do 5 millimeters. Hold on. Okay, this normally doesn't happen, so we're just gonna go ahead and back up real quick. Okay, now it'll be good to go. Okay, so 5 millimeters. See, the outline has appeared again, that's how we know it's good. Click on the front one. You'll notice it's incorporated now our smallest cube, and that the shell has extended outside rather than inside, which brings our borders out. Hence why when I go back and forth, you'll notice the cube gets larger. Well, it's not much of a cube, it's more of a podium, but that's whatever. Now if we do both, click on the front face, you'll notice it has extended the borders and also come inside, so you'll see that our smallest cube is still incorporated into the shell, but it's much smaller because rather than it just being shelled to the inside or to the outside, both are being shelled, which creates sort of I guess a best of both worlds, you could call it, sort of. And you can use the shell to hollow things out, like if I want to just cut straight through. I'm sorry, it'll do that sometimes. If I want to just cut straight through, I can do that. So I just have a hole in my object. You can cut through the sides. Just be careful. Sometimes they'll be a little finicky in the order in which you shell, but it will work for most cases. And changing the thickness of the shell obviously will drastically change the results. And you can also use it to change individual objects if need be. Because you'll notice that when we use the extrude tool, these are all just one connected hunk. However, if you model it so that these are all separated, then you can individually shell them and change them that way. And that's basically how the tool works. I hope you found this informative, and I hope that this will help you in the future.